Hello and welcome to another edition of Genesis Law Firm Teaches. Today's topic is how to form an LLC or limited liability company in Washington. There are other videos and articles that are part of an ongoing series that we've either created parts of or will create the rest of in the very near future on how to form a business in Washington. So if you want more information on these related topics, please go to our website and you'll find more there. Today's topic is really how to form a business entity, and this is just one of the steps in forming a business. Almost everyone should form a business entity before operating a business, whether in Washington or elsewhere. Examples of business entities include LLCs, limited liability companies, corporations, which would include S corporations and C corporations, limited liability partnerships, limited partnerships, etc. So there are lots of choices available. Today we're not going to get into a discussion of which of those is best. It's a very complicated answer that depends upon what you want to do with your business. Nor are we going to discuss why it is that you should form a business entity. The point of this article, or video rather, is to discuss how to form an LLC. That is the most popular of the business entities that are available. So let's look at the first step in that process, which would be determination of whether the name that you want is available. You can do a very simple search by going online and just searching on a search engine like Google or Bing. It's also a good idea to see whether the website that you would want is available. So if it's Genesis Law Firm, you might search for genesislawfirm.com. And if that website is taken, you might see if there's a derivative of that website that's available. So perhaps it's genesis.com instead of genesislawfirm.com, etc. The most important search that you would want to do is by going onto the Department of Licensing website, the Washington Department of Licensing website, and searching for any other businesses that are already operating under the name that you're thinking of. And then you can check out whether or not the name you're thinking of is trademarked. You can find that by going onto both a federal website and a state website and entering the name that you're thinking of. If you're only going to do one of these searches, and many people only do one of these searches, it should be that you go onto the Washington Department of Licensing website and check whether there is a business in Washington that is actively using the name that you want to use. The next step in the process of forming an LLC would be to draft the LLC agreement. This is the operating agreement for the business, and it's akin to a constitution of a government. So it's akin to the U.S. Constitution to the U.S. government in that it states the core principles and how business is done. And it not only states these core aspects of the business, but it's very difficult to change. So it becomes the embodiment of your business, you might say. It would, in an LLC, indicate whether you have a manager who is making decisions, or whether you would have a democratic vote of all of the members, or I should say owners of the LLC. Usually, if it's a larger business, you'll want to have a manager who can make day-to-day decisions. And by the way, the manager doesn't need to be one of the owners. The LLC agreement would usually state how it is that the owner votes would take place and on what topics you would need an owner vote. Presumably the manager is not going to have the power to make every decision. More important decisions would be ones that all of the owners would vote on, and so this agreement would state exactly what decisions need to be voted on and how they are voted on. It would state who makes tax decisions. These tax determinations are often critical to the business. And it would state how profits and losses are divided between the owners. You don't need an LLC agreement. It's not a requirement under the law. If you don't have one, then there is a statute and some case law that would supply the terms that would otherwise be in the LLC agreement. But if you want to determine your own outcome, then you'll almost certainly want an LLC agreement. And you'll almost always want an LLC agreement if you ever expect there to be multiple owners. So if there are multiple owners from the get-go, you probably need an LLC agreement. Or if you expect there to be multiple owners in the future, you should have an LLC agreement. You should also have an LLC agreement if you anticipate buying real estate, because some real estate closing agents will want to see that as part of the closing process. We have a sample LLC agreement that we're going to provide you as a PDF document on the article that's associated with this particular video. So if you'd like to see a sample, go on to the article and click on the PDF link. And after you've gotten your LLC agreement drafted, make sure that you get all of the owners to sign off on it. The third step in the process of creating your LLC would be to register it with the state. And that is that you would register it with the Washington Secretary of State. The easiest way to do that is to go online. They've got a very simple online system. You can also do it by paper and mail, but it takes longer and it costs more. So almost everybody will choose to do it online. When you process the registration, you'll have to answer some fairly basic questions, and most of these are questions that you'll have already answered in your LLC agreement. For example, you'll have to state whether you are managed by a manager or whether decisions are made through a vote of the members, and you'll have to indicate who the registered agent is. You have to have a registered agent. That's the person who can be served with any legal process. If you don't have a registered agent, you can't form an LLC. For more information on this and related topics, we encourage you to go to our website and check out the other articles and videos, as well as the article that's associated with this particular video. You can find our articles and videos under the Resources tab of our website, and this is how you can get to the web address for the article associated with this video.